Today we're exploring a topic that's crucial yet often overlooked: the types of people we should be saying no to. Stoicism isn't just about controlling our reactions, it's about making wise choices in who we allow into our lives. So, are you ready to find out which 7 types of people a Stoic would advise you to steer clear of? Let's get started. Before we dive in, remember, this isn't about judging others, it's about protecting our peace and cultivating a life in harmony with Stoic virtues. From the negative influencer to the self-absorbed, these are the people that might be holding you back from achieving true tranquility and wisdom. And stick around till the end, because you might be surprised by who makes it to our list. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. So, let's learn to recognize and say no to those who don't align with our path to personal growth. Person type 1, the negative influence. First on our list is the negative influence. You know them, right? The ones who always see the glass as half empty, who find a problem for every solution. But what does Stoicism teach us about such individuals? Seneca once said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." Simple, yet profound. Being around negative people not only drains our energy, but subtly influences our mindset, pulling us away from the Stoic ideal of tranquility and rationality. I remember a colleague of mine who was always pessimistic. Every interaction left me feeling more doubtful and less optimistic. It was a wake-up call. Have you ever experienced something similar? Feel free to share in the comments. The key here is not to judge or change them, but to recognize the impact they have on us. Firm tone. And sometimes the most Stoic action we can take is to gracefully distance ourselves, preserving our own peace and perspective. Now don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. Recognizing these influences is the first step towards building a more positive and supportive circle. So, let's keep our heads up as we move to the next type. Person type 2, the energy drainer. Next, we delve into the realm of the energy drainer. Picture someone whose presence seems to suck the energy right out of the room. It's a feeling many of us know all too well, but let's see what Stoicism has to say about it. Epictetus, the esteemed Stoic philosopher, believed in focusing our energy on what we can control. Energy drainers, however, often pull us into a whirlpool of chaos and emotional turmoil, far from the Stoic ideal of inner calm and rationality. I'm sure many of you can relate. Have you ever left a conversation feeling more drained than when you started? It's not just you. It's a common experience, and recognizing it is the first step towards change. While Stoicism teaches us resilience, it also reminds us of the importance of guarding our inner peace. Being constantly exposed to energy-draining individuals can deplete our mental and emotional reserves, essential for living a balanced life. Imagine a friend who constantly offloads their problems onto you, never offering support in return. It can become a one-sided emotional labor. It's crucial, then, to establish boundaries to protect our own energy and well-being. Remember, saying no to energy drainers isn't selfish, it's an act of self-preservation. It allows us to say yes to more enriching and reciprocal relationships. With that in mind, let's explore our next type, the manipulator. Person type 3, the manipulator. Now let's address a particularly challenging type, the manipulator. These are the individuals who subtly twist situations to their advantage, often leaving us questioning our own perceptions. In a Stoic's eyes, how do we deal with such characters? Marcus Aurelius reminded us to be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. This wisdom is particularly pertinent when dealing with manipulators. It's about maintaining our integrity and not allowing others to sway us from our moral compass. Throughout history, we've seen figures who exemplified manipulation. But it's not just a historical phenomenon, it's something many of us face in everyday interactions. Recognizing these patterns is the first step in safeguarding our autonomy. Have you ever felt manipulated in a conversation or relationship? It can be a disorienting experience, right? How did you respond to it? Sharing your story can offer valuable insights to others, so feel free to comment below. Navigating the world of manipulators requires a blend of Stoic fortitude and practical wisdom. It's about being true to our values, setting clear boundaries, and sometimes having the courage to step away from harmful dynamics. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Active listening and observation can be powerful tools in identifying and dealing with manipulative behavior. Up next, we'll explore a type that's all too common: the constant complainer. Person type 4, the constant complainer. Moving on, we come to a type that's a staple in many social circles: the constant complainer. You know them, the ones who seem to have a grievance for every situation. But let's look at this through the lens of Stoicism. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Constant complainers often focus on reacting negatively to life's challenges, rather than seeking solutions or accepting what can't be changed. Have you ever found yourself caught in a cycle of complaints, either your own or someone else's? It can be draining, right? It's a reminder of how our mindset shapes our experience of the world. Stoicism isn't about ignoring problems. It's about approaching them with a constructive mindset. When we're around constant complainers, it's easy to be pulled into a negative headspace, away from the Stoic goal of peace and rationality. I once worked with someone who always focused on what was going wrong. It wasn't easy, but I learned to redirect our conversations towards solutions, or sometimes I simply chose to listen without being emotionally drawn in. It's about finding that balance. Dealing with constant complainers challenges us to maintain our serenity and perspective. It's an opportunity to practice patience and perhaps gently guide them towards a more stoic way of viewing life's hurdles. Now let's turn to our next type, the unreliable. Person type 5, the unreliable. Our next type is the unreliable. We've all encountered them, the ones who make promises but seldom follow through. In the Stoic philosophy, reliability is a virtue. So, how do we deal with those who lack it? Marcus Aurelius emphasized the value of being an upright and good man. Reliability is a key part of this. When we encounter people who consistently fail to keep their word, it challenges our trust and can create unnecessary complications in our lives. Think about the times you've relied on someone only to be let down. How did it affect your plans, your feelings, or even your view of them? It's a tough situation, isn't it? Dealing with unreliable people often requires us to recalibrate our expectations and, perhaps more importantly, our reliance on them. It's about finding a balance between giving them the benefit of the doubt and protecting ourselves from potential letdowns. I remember planning a project with a friend who was notoriously unreliable. Eventually, I had to adjust my approach, taking on tasks I could handle alone and setting clear, realistic expectations for their involvement. Sometimes, that's the only way. In the spirit of Stoicism, we strive to accept people as they are, while also safeguarding our peace of mind. It's a delicate balance, but a necessary one. Now let's explore a mindset that can be quite challenging: the pessimist. Person type 6, the pessimist. We now come to the pessimist. This is the person who seems to see the glass as perpetually half empty, often overshadowing possibilities with doubts. From a Stoic viewpoint, how do we navigate such pervasive negativity? Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Pessimism, while challenging, can also be an opportunity for us to practice our Stoic principles like resilience and optimism. Have you ever found yourself influenced by someone's pessimistic view of the world? It can be contagious, can't it? But it's also a test of our ability to maintain our perspective. Dealing with pessimists isn't about dismissing their concerns, but rather about not letting their viewpoint cloud our judgment. It's a delicate balance between empathy and maintaining our own positive outlook. Once had a mentor who, despite their wisdom, always leaned towards pessimism. It taught me to filter the useful insights from the negative overtones, preserving my own sense of hope and possibility. It's a skill that comes with practice. Stoicism doesn't ask us to ignore the realities of life, including the pessimistic viewpoints of others. Instead, it teaches us to approach them with a balanced mindset, finding strength in our inner resilience. And finally, let's discuss a personality type that's often overlooked: the self-absorbed. Person type 7, the self-absorbed. Our final type to be wary of is the self-absorbed. These individuals often center conversations and situations around themselves, sometimes at the expense of others. Stoicism offers a unique perspective on how to interact with such personalities. Epictetus once advised, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we might listen more and talk less." This is particularly apt when dealing with the self-absorbed. It's an opportunity for us to practice patience and understanding, even when it's challenging. Have you ever felt overshadowed or unheard in the presence of a self-absorbed person? It's not an uncommon experience. But how we handle it can say a lot about our own growth and Stoic practice. The key with the self-absorbed isn't just to endure, but to understand. Often such behavior stems from deeper insecurities or needs. Stoicism teaches us to look beyond the surface, fostering empathy while maintaining our boundaries. I once collaborated with someone who always needed to be the center of attention. It was challenging, but I learned to appreciate their strengths while gently steering our interactions towards more mutual ground. It's about coexisting harmoniously, not just coexisting. In dealing with the self-absorbed, we're reminded of the Stoic virtues of empathy, patience, and assertiveness. It's a delicate dance, but one that enriches our understanding of both ourselves and others. As we conclude our journey through these 7 challenging personality types, it's important to remember that Stoicism isn't about avoiding difficult people. It's about equipping ourselves to interact with them in a way that maintains our tranquility and inner strength. From the negative influence to the self-absorbed, each type challenges us in unique ways, but they also present opportunities for us to practice the virtues of Stoicism: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Which of these types resonated most with you? Have you encountered them in your life? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights enrich our community and our understanding of Stoicism in daily life. As we part ways today, let's remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In every interaction, we have the power to choose our response, to be guided by reason and virtue. That's the essence of Stoicism. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with someone who might benefit from these Stoic insights. Don't forget to subscribe to Pure Stoicism for more content on how to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and tranquility. And if you're interested in diving deeper into Stoic philosophy, check out our other videos and resources linked in the description. Thank you for joining me today, and until next time, keep living a life of virtue.